The U.S. military task force responsible for emergency preparedness and response during the inauguration held an open house for the media. The event took place at Fort McNair in Washington, D.C.
Well, what we're doing today, we're having an opportunity for the media to get an idea of what our mission is in the preparation for this inauguration. We anticipate this is going to be probably the biggest inauguration in the history of our country. On the one hand, it's a huge celebration, and we are providing all the ceremonial support. But in addition to that, because it's a huge operation, we are standing by ready to support civil authorities. And the lead agency, obviously, is U.S. Secret Service, and we provide several military capabilities which can help them. Today, we're allowing an opportunity for the media to meet our Commanding General, Major General Richard J. Rowe, as well as our National Guard counterparts from the Joint Task Force National Guard right here in Washington, D.C. It's an opportunity to give folks an idea of the scope of this planning which goes into putting on an inauguration.
It is an honor to be the leader. One of the questions is always, how many troops do you have? Right now, as a joint task force, we have 5,000 from the National Capital Region that are primarily for ceremonies and the specific support. We will, by this weekend, grow to approximately 7,500. 5,000 are associated with the ceremonial support. Some of those are reconfigurable. We can go out of our dress uniform and provide support. The Old Guard, for example, which will be prominent in our ceremonies, marching in their splendid uniforms, we can put them back into this. So from an active duty point of view, and we're tracking this every day. Right now, my prediction is it'll be about 7,500, 2/3 uniquely for our ceremonial support, and about 1/3 that their primary purpose is to be ready to lean forward, anticipate, provide flexibility.
In a second, we're going next door in our Joint Operations Center. The Joint Operations Center is a command center, one of 143 in the National Capital Region, where we actually interface with the interagencies, all the different law enforcement agencies within the Capital Region, our military counterparts. We're connected with NORTHCOM, which is our higher headquarters, and NORAD in Colorado Springs, as well as U.S. Secret Service. We'll have men and women who will be manning this starting on the 10th of January. A few days ago, we went to full up for stood up as a joint task force. We'll be operating 24/7, monitoring the situation, preparing to respond if necessary to any sort of civil authority need.
You're standing in the JTF NCR Joint Operations Center. The purpose of this location is to synchronize all our DoD efforts in supporting the presidential inaugural. We have 54 workstations which will be manned fully during the inaugural time period. We have about 35 from our internal staff, 10 from other outside DoD agencies, and we expect about 10 LNOs to augment us to share information cross-agency. On the 15th, we start the official inaugural period, which is by law a 10-day period, and there's a series of events that the Presidential Inauguration Committee has appointed. During the significant events, we will stand up a few hours before, a few hours after, with full jock manning to support the mission as required for that particular mission. On the morning of the 18th, when we get into the 72-hour period where the most important events are happening, we will stand up for full manning 24/7, 12-hour shifts.
Great support.
If you want to turn your attention here to our knowledge wall, this is probably where we synchronize a lot of different information simultaneously. For those of you who have been in an operations center before, obviously we watch the news, probably the best source of information, so we appreciate you for helping us with our job. We have it a little bit situated because this is a secret operations center, so we've changed some of the format. But normally we would have CNN, Fox News, or a number, we have C-SPAN, headline news up today. Usually we also watch some of the local news networks. We have a chart up there, a grid, a map, if you will, that we will chart all known forces that we have plotted or any incidents that may happen. We also track the weather, which is taking up 4 screens right now. We also have some collaborative tools that we will talk to all our various op centers. We'll have at least 10 different military op centers synchronized on that day, plus a number of forward command posts that are helping put on the parade, which is our primary function on the inaugural day.
Once we get a look at the Joint Operations Center, we're going to have a lot of almost a mini open house. We'll have the U.S. Coast Guard will be here with one of their 25-foot boats today. They're going to have one of their operations teams. It's just sort of like a SWAT team that they provide. We're going to have some military working dogs. We're going to have some folks from our chemical biological capability units. So we'll get a long laundry list of things to see, which we're going to have to provide support to this inauguration from both the support to civil authority side, security side, as well as the ceremonial side.
This is our rescue truck, and on the truck we have many different types of technical rescue equipment.
Can you show me some of these items?
Absolutely.
Can we walk down and look at some?
Sure.
911 Engineer Company.
Here we have some of our hand tools. This is, we have reaching and breaking equipment, drills, hammers, saws, breathing apparatuses located here. Also, we have patient packaging equipment, which would use for casualties or patients that we would go into, whatever scenario we go into to rescue. This is an air compressor that helps to refill our breathing apparatuses. Here we have multiple types of concrete breaching equipment, as well as our chainsaws. We have diamond chainsaws and rotary chainsaws. This is another example of kind of saws we have. We have several different types of saws for all different types of scenarios. Capable of cutting reinforced concrete. This also is another compressor for refilling our breathing apparatuses. This is our cascade system. This works in conjunction with our compressor that you saw on the other side. It's all one bay here, and this is what we use to refill our SCBA bottles.
What's that stand for?
SCBA stands for self-contained breathing apparatus. The SCBA is what you see the fire departments wear. We have one laying on the ground over there, and it's capable of holding 30, 45, and 60-minute cylinders. And this is what we use to fill those cylinders up. This here is capable of refilling over 10 60-minute bottles. But then, of course, we have the capabilities to go ahead and replenish our system at all times. We have a supply of oxygen and acetylene, as well as extra SCBA bottles. Our oxygen and acetylene we use for metal cutting. If we have to cut through a rebar, steel plate, doors, rubble, debris removal, things of that nature.
What does acetylene do?
Acetylene is the fuel for one of our torch systems. Acetylene, of course, it's dissolved in acetone to make it stable, because that, in its pure form, is an unstable gas. So, and that's why it has to remain standing up. Here's our oxygen for our torches. Up there we have some ropes and some search camera capability. Ropes we would use for lowering down into possible shafts. Like if there was a situation, let's say the metro and on the ground, and we had to lower our rescuers down into the shaft or whatever to facilitate a rescue, we would use our rope system. Here we have more of our tools, and there's another one of our torches.
Colin Kelly, Army Times.
Great oxygen in the bottles.
Stay. Good boy. Get it, Gertie. Good boy. Good boy.
Yeah.
What we have here is our it's our level A response suit. What we'll use this for is responding to hazardous material incidents. We can don this and go into a hazardous material or a hazardous environment along with our SCBA, which will provide us our breathing air for the 45, 60-minute duration that we'll be into the zone. The suit will protect us from contact with any of the chemicals. This right here is our radiation detection backpack. This is a broad range detection equipment for radiation. We can go search a large building, a parking lot, or a field for radiation isotopes. Once we have a general area or general area marked out where there's a radiation isotope, we can further pinpoint it here with our identifier, pull a source, and take a spectrum off of that source, and then we can send that source via email to LSS.
What's LSS?
They are a company full of scientists, and they can break apart the radiation isotope source that our identifier took and be able to say this is cesium-137. We can also see if there's other radiation sources that the identifier didn't pick up and alert to. So sometimes a possible situation could be where one strong radiation isotope is masking another. Here we have our Quicksilver WMD sampling kit. With this, we can take a sample of a possible agent and send it off to a laboratory where it can be analyzed by scientists, and they'll be further able to detect whether it's mustard, sarin, VX, which is just a very toxic liquid. They'll be able to document the test was positive for these chemicals.
The Coast Guard is a multi-agency or a multi-mission agency. With that being said, this is law enforcement. We are also the premier maritime law enforcement agency for the United States. And so we are a law enforcement agency. What I have on this table is the standard gear that I'll use to conduct my missions. You have everything from ballistic body armor protection. You have a standard law enforcement belt here that carries different tools that I'll need on my job, including OC pepper spray, an expandable baton, and also a magazine holder for my sidearm that I'll carry.
What kind of pistols do you usually have?
We carry an M9 Beretta service pistol. It's standard throughout the Department of Defense at this time.
Right. Are you going to be working down here in D.C. on inaugural day?
Yes, we are. We're actually based out of Miami, and for special events like this, we will deploy up to the region that the special event's going in to offer enhanced security.
Are there any watercraft going to be allowed on the Potomac during that day?
No. The captain of the port here has issued a security zone for this area, the Potomac area, and it is closed from the 15th to the 24th to recreational traffic. What you're looking at right here is the Coast Guard's 25-foot response boat Small. This is a standardized platform that we use throughout the United States, even Hawaii, Puerto Rico, to carry out our multi-missions of search and rescue, law enforcement, environmental patrol. What this does, this gives us the opportunity to patrol ports, go offshore, and enforce all kinds of laws and treaties. You can see it's highly visible. It's comprised of probably the most abundant features. It's sponsored. This allows us to come alongside other vessels to, for whatever reasons, we need to seek out their intent and not damage their hull of their vessel because it's nice and soft. It also allows the coxswain on board as he comes alongside. It helps out with safety as he comes up there, so you don't have two super hard objects hitting at one time.
Now, would there be I notice right now there's no gun there in the front. Well, typically, is there a gun on this boat?
Yes. For Port Waterways Coastal Security, we will have a mounted M240 Bravo fully automatic weapon up there.
And that you'll have that on this boat on inaugural day?
Yes, correct. To help enforce that security zone, we will have that gun out. I can tell you she has 2 outboard engines, 225 horsepower in each engine, allows her to get up and go. The coxswains, or the Coast Guard boat drivers, thoroughly enjoy driving this boat because of that. It's extremely maneuverable and agile, stuff that you need to go in and out of ports as you're dealing with both commercial and recreational traffic, enforcing laws and stuff like that.
What you just saw were two HH-65 aircraft that are assigned to the National Capital Region Air Facility at Reagan Airport. And what their task is to do air intercepts, if you will, around the National Capital Region, so that if there are any aircraft that were to stray inside the zone around the National Capital region for security reasons, they can be launched, and they have the ability to contact the pilots, usually private pilots that just aren't aware of the area, and they can escort them out of the area so that they don't pose a threat to the National Capital Region.